What's up, everybody? It's Brad and Andrew from Auto Off Topic. The coloring contest is back, and now much improved thanks to super listener Frank Eck. The contest is simple. Complete one of the pages of the coloring book found on our Facebook page or the Auto Off Topic Coloring Contest Facebook page in any of two mediums. Digital, using any computer program, or analog, be it colored pencil, marker, crayon, watercolor, however you choose. One entry counted per medium per person. Each individual can have a total of 2 entries, one per format. There will also be 2 age groups, age 15 and below and ages 16 on up. Links to the coloring book pages can be found on our Facebook page and the Facebook page for the coloring contest.
Electronic entries, including scanned entries, can be sent to us via email, autoofftopicpodcast@gmail.com. Paper copies can be sent by snail mail to Auto Off Topic Podcast Contest, 83 Lakeshore Drive, Georgetown, Massachusetts, 01833. Note, all hard copies received will not be returned, period. The contest runs through November 30th.
The companies and owners groups donating prizes are Mitsubishi Motors North America, Adventure Driven Design, Forest Performance, Palladian Trucks, Northeast Mitsubishi 4x4, Mitsubishi Montero Owners Group of the USA, Florida Mitsubishi 4x4, and Mitsu Nation Facebook group.
Please enjoy this free contest, and don't forget, entries must be postmarked by November 30th, 2017. Good luck. And go.
Welcome to episode 58 of Auto Off Topic. I'm Brad.
And I'm your other host, Andrew. What's going on, Brad?
Not much yourself.
Not too much.
I hear you cracking a beer over there. What are you drinking tonight, Andrew?
I got us some Bentwater Boars.
Bentwater is a local brewery, town next door, Lynn, Massachusetts.
Yep.
And Boris is their Halloween brew or
I
October
guess you call
brew?
that October Halloween brew.
It's a peanut butter chocolate porter. It's absolutely delicious.
It is. It's like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yes, alcoholic Reese's peanut butter cup. If you are local and can get to Lynn or a liquor store that carries the Lynn beer, it's definitely worth it. We're on like our 3rd or 4th 6-pack, I think.
Yeah, between the two of us.
Plus we went there and had it straight from the tap too, and it was delicious.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, they have a little
tasting room in their brewery. Oh, so
not,
good.
Not
so
sponsored
good.
by Bentwater this week. Just
No.
promoting a good local business.
No, but actually they are. I guess our friends Z28. Their practice space is like right around the corner from there. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess they go there quite often.
Z28, the band that you just heard in our intro.
Yes.
Another good local thing you should check out. They play in Salem quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're playing at Koto next month.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go again.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go again, absolutely. Anyway, so what do we want? Hey, Ollie's here, too. Ollie, the dog, is upset that I'm not petting his head for 10 seconds.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ollie. Ollie also made an appearance on the Crank Journal podcast.
Yes, he
with
did.
you.
Yes, I did.
So if you're into podcasts, which you probably are because you're listening to us, and you're looking for another podcast to listen to, because maybe you're like me and you have an hour commute each way.
Yeah, you got a lot to catch up on.
I burned through podcasts pretty fast.
Yes, I was on the last episode of Crank Journal. It was pretty long. It went
It went
a couple hours, but it went pretty smooth the whole time, so it wasn't a big deal.
You guys,
we talked about Mitsubishis, obviously. That's why they had me on.
A lot of Mitsubishis.
And some other stuff, too.
There was some other stuff.
We talked, I think, Thunderbirds for a minute or two. That was an interesting topic.
Just listen to it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good episode.
And there's some other good episodes on there, too.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you say my episode? All the episodes are good.
Yeah, I listened to the one with the guy, Dan, I can't remember his last name, from the Packard Museum.
Mm-hmm.
The curator. That was a really good episode.
Yeah, he's really cool from what I've heard of him on podcasts and seen on Instagram.
So
he's a young guy that curates a car for old people, which is awesome.
Whatever.
No, it's really cool. I've always been a Packard fan, as we discussed on a previous podcast. What car brand would you like to bring back? And I said Packard.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been a Packard fan. So anyway, speaking of answering questions and that previous episode, what is tonight's episode, Andrew?
We're going to do listener questions because we got enough. We're just going to skip Project Car updates, get right into questions.
Yeah, we'll start Project Car updates next episode for Tuesday.
I mean, this is super cool. We definitely appreciate all these questions.
Yeah, we got tons of questions tonight.
Really like listener interaction and hearing from everyone that listens. It's just super fun. So thanks for doing that. And we'll jump right in. Want me to read the first one?
Sure, go ahead.
So this is Eric Simpson. He says, which root beer is best root beer?
Obvious answer is 1980 Dodge Colt Brown root beer.
Okay. All right. I thought it was talking about sodas.
I'm sure that's what he's actually talking about, because I actually asked the question on the site tonight, and I just said ridiculous questions, whatever kind of questions comes up. So
I kind of like Not Your Father's root beer, that alcoholic stuff. The hard root beer craze.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, they were the first one to come out, really that got big anyway.
And then Jones Soda.
Yep.
Was really good for a while. Oh, and then we have local stuff. It's like Mercury.
Mercury Brewing is part of Ipswich Brewing.
Yeah.
And they do a root beer. It's pretty good. Honestly, a lot of,
it's microbrewed.
Microbrewed, what do I call it?
Microbrewed root beer?
Yeah.
Like soda?
Yeah, microbrewed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those places around here. Much like beer snobs, apparently we're also root beer snobs.
Soda snobs.
Yeah.
I like fancy sodas.
Yeah, I don't really drink soda very often, so I'm not going to buy a 6-pack of A&W.
I like ginger beer.
Yeah, ginger
beer. But
beer.
mostly because I like to make Dark and Stories.
Yeah, true.
Or Moscow Mules.
But yeah, I'll go along with the Jones Soda as far as an easy to get one. And then if you're local to here, the Mercury Brewing root beer is really good.
And then he also says, I bought a 1978 Ford LTT station wagon, which makes a lot of sense since I definitely wanted a small, sporty, fun vintage import as my next car. I'm very bad impulse control. However, it's stock, rust-free, low-mileage, blank slate. What should I do with it?
I am okay with this car because...
Is it a Woody?
Of it? It's not a Woody. Oh, okay. It's a big blue wagon. It's about 100 feet long. It has the tailgate that opens both down or to the left.
To the side?
Yeah. And it's a big V8 full-frame wagon. So... this wagon can be used to tow your vintage import or small sporty fun car that you buy in the future.
Oh, and it fits. It's like you would have used this to tow like your MG to a track day.
Exactly.
In 1978.
Exactly. So what I would do is I would pretty much leave it as is, unless you want to make a Woody out of it. I fully support that.
I might do like a fuel injection conversion to like the carb. You know, you put the throttle body on there.
Yep. Well, they make the ones now that are plug and play. Like Holly makes the EFI that looks like a carburetor.
Make it run a little better. You'll get slightly better fuel mileage.
Yeah, get rid of the carburetor and the points, and just do electronic ignition and fuel injection setup. I think that's probably the best plan. You're probably right. And I would just do like a trans cooler if it doesn't have one already, and a trailer hitch, and use it to drag stuff around with.
Yeah, that's what
I would do. Maybe
cool.
A cool set of wheels on it or something. Set of torque thrusts or Krager SS's or I don't know, something 70s. That'll go along with the look of the wagon.
Yeah.
And
I guess it's a 78, so you could probably...
Yeah, but it looks...
Yeah, but you could eliminate some emissions equipment too.
Yeah, I think he lives in New Jersey.
I mean, I'm not saying what you can do and what you can't do, but you know what you can do.
Auto Off Topic does not recommend removal of emissions equipment. Take it all off. It's not a daily driven car. It's fine. It's not. Obviously, we want you to keep your emissions equipment on your daily driven cars because we do like the environment. But on a car you drive every once in a while, seasonally, it's not the end of the world. Dan Downey says, "Are you champion of the ninjas?" Sorry, I've been listening to the Camden Tubbed. We are not. Camden Tubbed would be because they use that as their intro song. Then he says, just ordered a custom shifter from a rando company in Poland. They seem legit, but you never know. I assume that's for his BMW 2002.
Must be.
He says, what's your best take a chance on eBay or overnight parts from Colombia story? Do you have a story for him?
Back in the day, I found my Auto Power roll bar for the Talon super cheap on eBay for like $250 when they were over $300. Yeah. I mean, I've been at eBay since like 2003.
Back when it was good?
Yeah, you could really get deals. It's a little harder now. You got to really look around. But I buy a ton of stuff on eBay. Always buying used parts because
not like generic cheap Chinese parts, but used parts.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find a good used OEM part, I'll always take that over a generic Chinese part.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and it depends. Then sometimes you do find good aftermarket stuff. So
sometimes
I've had good luck with that too, though.
I would guess my best story is when I bought a set of wheels from Japan without any knowledge of how this system worked.
That was from like Baiyi, though, or something, right?
It was, and I'm not, so there was a little bit less risk because I was using a buying agent, but I had no idea how to use a buying agent. And I had no idea what shipping was going to cost. I had no idea what any of it was going to be. So I just took a chance, ordered the wheels. They were Fortran is the name of the company. They're a legit JDM wheel company.
4chan?
Fortran, not 4chan. No. Yes. They have hentai stickers all over them, but I don't know what happened. No, it's Fortran, Fortran, and the model is the Drag-1. Little 13-inch wheels. They weren't real big. They didn't cost a ton of money, but I had no idea what shipping was going to cost. So I was afraid that my, $400 wheel purchase was going to wind up costing me $1,300 to get them here.
Yep.
But they charged $90 for each set of 2 wheels to ship them.
That's not bad.
And they were here in 2 days from when I bought them. So they literally put them on an airplane and shipped them here for $180. So I'm into the set of wheels for less than $500.
I just got the replacement tail lamp was used for the WRX. I got that off eBay.
Okay.
That was inexpensive, but I had to really look around because some of them were listed for like over $100. Mm-hmm. And then I finally found one that was in good shape for under $100, but it wasn't immediately coming up in searches. It was kind of weird. I had to really dig for it.
In it or something?
Yeah, I don't know. And then, like what you did, I bought the wheels that are on the 99 Montero.
Oh, that's right.
From Japan.
Yep.
But I actually bought 2 sets.
Right.
And one set is somewhere in Japan still because I never paid to ship them because they wanted too much money to ship. Or, no, it was weird. One set, they were like, cool, we can ship this. And it was like $200 to ship 4 wheels.
Which isn't bad.
That I paid $200 for. So I was like, all right, cool. And then I get this other set of wheels that are at their warehouse. Basically what happens with Buy-E is that you search Yahoo Auctions through their website, and it translates for you, and then you purchase what you want. It gets shipped to Buy-E.
Yeah, you can't. Yahoo Auctions is like eBay in Japan only.
Yeah.
But they won't ship overseas.
Yep.
So you have to sell them to Buy-E has to make the purchase. It ships to Buy-E's warehouse.
And then they ship it to you.
Correct.
And it was super weird because the second set of wheels, because I needed 5 wheels, so I was like, well, I'll just buy 2 sets and combine the best out of the 8. And then I'll have spares, whatever, because it wasn't going to be that expensive. And then they were like, these 4 wheels we can't ship, like they're oversized. I was like, I'm trying to email them. It was a little bit a translation issue. I was like, well, you just shipped me these other ones, the same exact thing, and it was fine.
The only thing I can think of is that all 4 of them came in one box to the warehouse, and it was just too big, and the other ones came in 2 separate boxes.
And then it was strange, like I haven't gotten, this is months ago now, I was like, well, I'm not going to pay for anything, and then I went and checked on the website, and they were still in like this weird limbo, and I never got any emails that they were going to get like destroyed, because they say if they sit for too long.
You paid for the wheels.
Yeah.
So it's not like you screwed them on anything.
No,
they just aren't shipping them, but I think they just throw them away.
Yeah.
Or resell them
it's kind of weird.
Resell them on Yahoo or something.
Yeah, so whatever.
Whatever.
I lost
Chalk it up to a loss.
Couple $100 on those 4, but it was worth trying.
Right. And then Dan
so just be aware of that.
Yeah, Dan has a third question, but we'll allow it because it's related.
Yeah, he's publicly challenging me.
Yes, because he also has a 0405 WRX in World Rally Blue like you do.
Yep. He wants a face-off at the upcoming Rallycross, at our local Rallycross in, I say Canaan, but some people say Canaan, up in New Hampshire.
I'm just going to throw you for a loop and go Canaan.
Canaan.
Like Tony Kanaan, the IndyCar driver.
All right.
Spelled different, but that's how I go with it.
Well, the gauntlet has been thrown down. I'll get back to you on that.
The plan was not to rally across the car.
No.
So,
but it's a small track that was like a karting track, and they kind of upgraded it to be a small racetrack, and they're using it as a rallycross venue. So they're kind of intermixing pavement with dirt.
Yep.
But apparently last year it mostly ended up being dirt because they didn't want to ruin the facility's grass.
You mean pavement?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe I will. I'm going to think about it.
And then the
day
before that
is a TSD, and we're going to break in the cross-check driving the TSD.
I got to figure out what to do because it hasn't snowed or anything yet. So I'm hoping I'll be able to maybe use the Blue Colt.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to snow for the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it looks pretty warm in the
considering the last couple days it's been in the 70s and it's almost November.
Yeah, we'll take it.
It's really weird, but yeah, I'll take it.
All right, so next question is from friend of the show, Joe Osborne. How many Monteros does it take to reliably get to work on a weekly basis?
Well, you've only got 1, so that doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
I've got 2, and that works, so at least 2.
Okay, but I'm going to say at least as many mid-90s Subaru Legacy wagons as it takes Joe Osborne to reliably get to work.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So anyway, little hatred there towards the Mitsubishis from Joe, but it's okay.
Hey.
It's okay. Actually, I gotta talk to Joey about being a co-driver for me.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
Be nice to him.
Yes. Sorry, Joe. Next question. Andrew, what do you got? What's next?
Andy Carter. Can we get a fair and balanced discussion of the evolution concept? LOL.
Yes, we can. I don't hate it. Do you hate it?
I don't hate it because it's a concept car.
I don't hate it because they're not calling it an Evo. They're calling it an E-evolution.
Yeah.
Not an evolution. The hatred on the internet is coming from everybody going, oh, they made a new Evo and it's an SUV. No, it's not an SUV. It's a completely different vehicle. I'm okay with it because they're trying to help the company's image and they're trying to bring something exciting to the electric market, and the world is going electric, so we might as well make it exciting.
I know it will never exist because it's an ugly concept car.
Yeah, it's never going to be built like that anyway.
It's interesting. I really wish they had brought their Outlander plug-in hybrid out a lot sooner.
Yeah, it's kind of on the backside now.
That would have, had they brought that out 3 or 4 years ago, that would have put them in probably in a better position and gotten them into the market, and maybe people would have recognized that Mitsubishi does know something about electric stuff. Like, they have a lot of really good tech.
Mm-hmm. They always have. They've always been a tech-forward company.
Yeah. They're just, I don't know.
They just don't sell them here. They just sell us 15-year-old Lancers as brand new cars.
I don't know.
I don't know. A fair and balanced discussion. I don't hate the thing. It's a concept car. It's not an evolution. It's not the next Evo.
It's not a Pajero Evo either.
It's not a Pajero Evo. No. It's just it exists in a time and place where it needs to be, and it does not offend me in the way that it seems to.
Stuff's going electric,
everybody else.
so. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they make exciting cars. Hopefully electrics become more exciting. I know...
We're going to get to that later on in a further question about the Tokyo Auto Show, because there's a couple things from there that are interesting that are electric, but we'll get to that afterwards.
Yeah. All right, so Jordan Mellon asks...
Our first guest of more than one time.
Yep. Why did he sell his Volvo?
I don't know why he sold his Volvo. Do you know why he sold his Volvo?
95?
It was a red 850 5-speed wagon.
Yep, 5-speed 850 wagon, non-turbo. I believe that you sold it because you bought the Xterra that you have now.
Yeah.
And you had the STI and didn't have the space in your driveway. But now apparently you want just a beat-around car. So.
But he wants a Volvo wagon specifically again.
That car was pretty cool. I only rode in it like once.
He has DTM dreams.
Yeah.
Or BTCC dreams, more likely, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he needs a white one with like 19-inch OZ Super Turismos.
It sounded really, really cool.
Oh, inline 5's always.
Yeah. Or, what were the other wheels that were big in the 90s? The ASWs?
TSW.
TSWs.
Yeah, the 6 spokes.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I prefer the Super Turismo, like the probably 15s. Spokes.
No, I want the TSWs with the fake center
fake
lock.
Center locks? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was definitely big.
Yes.
I think those were TSW.
Hockenheims?
The Hockenheim was a mesh.
Okay.
I think it was Evo.
TSW Hockenheims were awesome looking.
Yeah, they're a little dated now, but they would definitely work on that car. As long as they were super clean and nice, because they wind up, because they're all old now, they all look beat up when you see them, so they look like American racing wheels.
I don't think, does TSW even make wheels anymore?
I think so.
Yeah.
I couldn't, be 100% sure, but I think they still exist. They were like a tire rack special for a long time. Yep, they still exist.
All right. Let's move to the next question. Steve Booten, and this one you can probably answer better than me. Do you think my S10 Blazer could handle an overland rally like VOR with a 2-inch lift and a decent set of tires?
Yes. Simple answer.
Yeah.
100%.
They vary the roads, right? So you've got different levels of difficulty. Like,
not only that, but the vehicles, I mean, you're not going to do...
It's not rock crawling.
There are sections that are more rock crawling than other sections. They have, the red and purple sections that are pretty rough. You're not going to run the crack, they call it, which is like this really wide crevasse that the big trucks go over. But most of the stuff that Andrew's bone stock... I took Andrew's bone stock 89 Montero with, like, not even mud terrain tires, just, like, all-terrain snow tires, and it was fine. So your S10 Blazer, unless it has S10 Blazer problems, which is a whole other story for a whole other day.
If the four-wheel drive doesn't engage,
as long as it's
the vacuum.
as long as it's in functioning working order, it shouldn't be an issue.
No.
I don't imagine it being an issue, and I think that you should come up and do it next year, if that is the plan. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't make it, then it's an S10 Blazer. We just leave it in the woods, and you buy another one down at the corner store.
Yep.
So, not to make fun of your particular truck, but they are fairly common around here, so shouldn't be an issue.
All right. His second question: where in New England are the best sports car driving roads?
Vermont and New Hampshire, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have any other, like, Route 17 in Maine?
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yep. 113 in Maine. So, but actually but that connects. So when you go over Hurricane Mountain Road from the North Conway area, you drop down into 113.
Which, if you're in North Conway and you're in any kind of a sporting vehicle, you should go a pre-dawn or after dusk run up Hurricane Mountain Road.
Yep.
Because I say pre-dawn or after dusk because it's less trafficked. It is a two-way road, but it's really only a lane and a half wide.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the day, your sight lines aren't great because of the trees. At least at nighttime, you have the oncoming headlights to warn you of oncoming vehicles. There's a deer factor at nighttime, but it's a fun road to climb up and over. I wouldn't race up at like 100, 10 tenths effort, but it's definitely. I will not confirm nor deny that the Mirage left the ground at one point climbing Hurricane Mountain Road.
Midweek, the Kangamangas is a good road.
It's not a particularly windy road, though.
No.
It's a nice, smooth, flowing road with really pretty views.
There's a couple of roads off of it, like Bear Notch Road is good.
Yep. I don't like when people say they're going on a Kank run and they're going to go around the Kangamangas and they're going to drive up and down the Kangamangas and that's it. I don't think it's that fun of a road. It's too wide open.
It's probably the best known driving road in New England, I think.
Yeah, but it's more for the scenic views than it is for the actual technicality of the driving.
That's what everybody goes for. But there's other roads.
But if you're up in that area and you go on any offshoot of any of the main highways, they're all going to be fun back roads. And New Hampshire, in particularly, takes really good care of their pavement. And they have a lot of really smooth roads.
I think you mean Vermont.
Vermont, excuse me.
Yeah.
Takes really good care of their pavement, and they have a lot of really smooth roads up
Vermont roads between little towns up there, some of them can be really awesome.
Yeah, if you go up in what was the area we went? I'm going to have to research it.
The Winter Challenge or anything?
Where your Montero broke down, what town was that?
That was the Ludlow, Chester area.
Ludlow, there you go. Up in the Ludlow area.
Yeah, there's a bunch up there.
To go in between, like from between Ludlow and Chester, say, the roads that are not in a city are really good, windy, fun roads. They were even fun towing the trailer with Andrew's broken Montero in the back.
And then, just when you get up way north in Vermont, not a lot of people.
Right.
And a lot of these
Super Troopers is not fiction at that point.
A lot of these small towns don't have police forces.
But they do have state troopers.
They do,
and like I said, Super Troopers is not fiction at that point.
A lot of ground to cover. So just saying, it can be fun.
It can be very fun, as long as you don't get caught.
Yeah.
John Rimmer says, "What are some of your most memorable car moments you shared with your dads that you would hope to have the chance to share with your own kids someday?" Do you have an answer for this, Andrew?
Well, probably working on all my cars.
That's the obvious answer. 100%.
That's, we wouldn't go out and have a catch.
Right.
We'd go out and change oil in a car or something.
Right.
So that's pretty fun.
Which is why you're way into cars and you're not
into sports.
Not the most athletic person out there.
No.
Or as far as ball sports go. You're always pretty good. Actually, you were pretty good at soccer growing up. You were a big soccer guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would say that as well. But my father and I always had, we always had scale car stuff. That's where I get my love of the scale car from, whether it be models or RC cars or any of that stuff. Because I grew up and we would like team build model cars. Like he would help me paint them, taught me how to paint pretty well with aerosol cans. And sometimes we go to his body shop that he used to own, and we actually spray paint the bodies of model cars with legitimate, automotive paint and a legitimate paint gun.
Melt them?
No. As long as you had a good primer on it, it was fine. But doing that, and we used to have big slot car racing tournaments in the basement. A lot of the scale car stuff was a lot of fun. And, I've done some of that stuff with my daughter. I've done, some model car builds and some light RC stuff, and I've taken her to model car shows, and she's a girl, so she's not as into it because it's not her thing. But, she appeases me and goes along with it, and she does enjoy it, especially if we build like a fantasy build, like a Batmobile or the time machine from Back to the Future. She's more into building that stuff with me. So, yeah, I enjoy that stuff. That's what I would say. But, yeah, the wrenching is fun, too. Mm-hmm. And I got my cousin who wants to get more into wrenching, so I'll be able to do it with him. He's young enough to be my child, but he's my cousin, so yeah.
Right. Well, that works.
William Connor, I apologize, William. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I'm going to go Wyant. Thoughts on this? And he sent a link about worn winches being purchased by Keystone.
Yep.
I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't really have a horse in that race. The one thing I will say is that working in the automotive industry in a body shop, I always get a corporate account with Keystone LKQ. And if Keystone LKQ wants to start selling worn winches and I can get my corporate account discount on them, that'd be wonderful.
So is Keystone LKQ like just buying up everything?
It would appear to be. They're just becoming they're buying every independent junkyard in the world, and
yeah, that's one of the things you guys talked about in that podcast. How LKQ buys up a lot of small junkyards.
Yep, which is good and bad because you lose that pick and pull kind of thing, but you also get a better inventoried system. But you also lose all the old cars because they just crush them.
Yeah, and better shipping and delivery, and probably consistent pricing.
Yep, and a better damage indicator when you buy a part.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
So there's goods and bad.
That stuff up.
There's good and bad. But it's just like anything. A monopoly is never good.
No.
It's we talk about, you posted on Facebook today the thing about Facebook saying, hey, come here and we'll help promote everything. Oh, everybody's here now. We're going to lock the doors. Now you get to pay to promote things.
Yeah, well, it was from the oatmeal. Yeah. So,
yeah, exactly.
Because he used to have this really cool, well, I'm sure he still has this very cool website.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd go to the oatmeal website to see what the latest comic was,
right,
like 10 years ago, and now.
But now he posted to Facebook. Hopefully,
but it's like what we were talking about is how, and like, see, somehow our question post, we made sure it got through to people today.
We had to trick the Facebook logarithms.
Yeah, because I certainly refuse to pay $5.
Yeah, it's a valid point. I especially like it when it'll say at the bottom of the post how many people it's reached, and I'll be like, this post has reached 495 people. And it's like, do you want to promote this promote this post to guarantee that it reaches 300? It's like, well, it's already reached 495, so why would I do that?
I'd rather not be spamming people's feeds by doing that.
Exactly.
I figure if you want to see us and interact with us, hopefully you'll,
I do wonder if we did it
you'll
once.
Seek us out.
Yeah, I do wonder if you did it once, it would bring in new views, or it's just people that already know us. It's the confusion thing that I have, but whatever.
It doesn't.
We're not going to do it. It doesn't matter.
No, we're just going to keep doing it the way this is doing it,
Yeah.
and I think it's working. So
we'll try to have at least halfway quality program, and people will want to listen.
That's
what
I hope for. If it's a decent thing to listen to, everyone will tune in.
Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little more, but as long as at the end of the day, it's always has out of an hour we get 15 minutes of good material, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Jeremy Nutt, another former guest, actually. Back in the muscle car era, the engines and transmissions were all numbers matching from the factory. Did Mitsubishi do this for DSMs and GVR4s? I mean, technically, every car has got a VIN numbered engine that matches the chassis, no?
I don't recall. I don't think so. I think in a muscle car, right, it was super easy to change the engine, right? You might have a muscle car that came with a slant 6.
So it wouldn't be a muscle car.
And now, 30 years later, it's got a small block in it, right?
Yep.
But in a DSM or a VR4, there's really only one engine that fits.
Right.
So on the transmission and the engine, they did have stampings that told you what engine it was, like a 4G63.
There was no VIN number
on it? W5M, whatever the transmission was.
Right.
And that does match the VIN tag on the firewall.
Well,
so is that what numbers matching means?
Not 100%. It is not, no. There's as built and numbers matching.
Okay.
A numbers matching car it has to be as built, number one. So if the car came in, say it's an emerald green 68 Corvette.
Yeah.
It has to be emerald green, even numbers matching, obviously. But the engine and transmission will have a VIN tag on them, or a VIN number stamped into them that matches the car. So if you had a 350 Corvette and you put a different 350 in it, it's no longer a matching numbers car. It's a correct car. It's built correctly, but it's not the engine that belongs with that car.
Yeah, I don't think they did that. I think that was an original attempt at reducing theft. Probably.
Well, I know a lot of cars do have VIN numbers on engines, and I know that's one of the things that I'm pretty sure it's there somewhere, Andrew. I'm not gonna.
Just from taking the engines in and out of my cars, I don't remember seeing VIN stampings on the engine block or VIN etching on the transmission, because my Talon did have the original engine and transmission in it, and I don't remember them being there. I think it was purely.
I'm pretty sure it's there.
The build tags. I know there's lots of VIN stickers on body panels, and that's a good way to tell if a vehicle's been in an accident, that all the VIN tags are still there. On, like, the hood, there'll be one, like, in the, like open up the doors. There'll be one on the inside of the door jambs, and that way you can tell if the car's been repainted. There'll be ones on the inside of the bumper covers, stuff like that.
There's no VIN tags on the inside of bumper covers.
On original ones, there is.
No, not a VIN tag, no.
Yes.
I take off bumper covers every single day.
On my DSMs there are.
Not every car has got a VIN tag in the bumper cover.
Well, it's because it's been replaced.
No, it's not.
No, on my DSMs.
Well, maybe on your DSM it has, but not every car has that.
They have the VIN tags on the original. On my cars, they have the original VIN tags on them.
Okay, that's fine, but not every car has that.
All right, well.
So we're going to have to figure
Definitely
this out.
seen it.
We're going to have to... I'm not denying it exists. I'm just saying it's not every car. We're going to have to figure this out in the engines, though, because I could have sworn it was a regular thing.
Nope.
But
I don't think it is anymore. I haven't seen it in any modern cars I've been working on either.
Okay.
Anyway. Next question.
Yeah, we're going to argue about this one at the end of time, but we'll figure it out.
Yep. John Rimmer. So Mary F. Kill for Mitsubishis. So which would you... So Mary is which would you daily drive?
Yep.
Hoon the crap out of, which would be F. And burn the factory down and the accursed car was produced at Kill. What do you think?
Kill is easy.
Yeah.
It's a Diamante.
Okay.
I mean, do you argue with that at all?
I do.
Okay.
The rebadged Dodge Raider. The
Mitsubishi Raider.
Yes.
So the rebadged Dodge Dakota.
Yes.
That's a tough call.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I would much rather drive a Diamante than a Dodge Raider.
Yeah.
Mitsubishi Raider.
Yep.
Not a Dodge Raider. I drive a Dodge Raider. A Dodge Dakota Mitsubishi Raider. Not to be confused with a Dodge Raider Mitsubishi Montero.
It's a terrible vehicle.
It is a terrible vehicle.
It's a terrible as a Dodge. It's terrible as a Mitsubishi. That generation Dakota is a very bad truck.
Own forever. I don't have one in this flavor, but it would be a Colt, but it would be a first-gen Colt.
Okay.
Which is a Galant based, so 70 to 73.
All right.
It's a really sharp-looking car. And then the F car would probably be an Evo of some sorts. Probably I'd go with an Evo 9 MR to thrash in the track.
Okay. See, I'm very close. So I do the daily would be my Galant. And then hoon the crap out of would be an Evo 8 RS.
Okay, that's a good choice too.
Set up for rally.
Yep, that's a good choice.
I would ruin that car.
I need to change my daily though from that Colt to a Colt Galant GTO.
Okay.
Twin cam. Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with the Diamante because my first answer. So I'm gonna kill the Diamante. I'm gonna marry the Colt Galant GTO, and I'm going to F the Evo. I'll stick with the 9MR.
Okay.
Good choices. I like that question. Very specific question that time. We've had that same question, just not specifically Mitsubishi before, I don't think. So that was good. Now, let's see. Nice question. I'm a little lost, Andrew. You out there?
Gillette Jake. Do you guys have any video game preferences? You put a pic of Gran Turismo 6.
With a lot VR4
Yeah.
and a first-gen Lancer.
Well, it used to be all about Gran Turismo.
Yeah, Gran Turismo was, during Andrew and my formative years, the game that we played together all the time.
Yes.
Like for hours and hours and hours on end. I would go to his house, he'd come to my house, and we would just play Gran Turismo, and we would race Sylvias and FDs, and that was the big race all the time. The S15 and the FD.
Well, there was also like we do Trial Mountain Viper versus a 67 427 Corvette.
Yep.
For whatever reason, that was a close race.
Yeah, we got way too good at that game.
It didn't make any sense that...
That was Gran Turismo 2. And
Yeah.
Gran Turismo 3 were probably our biggest, because we both still lived across the street from one another when those two games came out, I think.
Yeah, so
And
those
then
were
by GT4,
good.
I had moved anyway.
At S2000 versus RX-7 in that Rome circuit. That was good.
Yep. And Special Stage Route 11. However, as time has marched on, Forza became a lot more playable for multiplayer.
And just other... I just like the way it customizes.
Yeah. Gran Turismo kind of stayed a little stale, and Forza seemed to change with the times and became a better game. The first Forza I did not like because I was all Gran Turismo all the time.
And I didn't like the second one that much. It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It was better than the first one.
Yeah.
By the time the third Forza came out, it was good.
I was like, all right, I'm on board.
Yeah, and now I'm 100% on board. I don't even own a new PlayStation. I have an Xbox One, so I only have Forza now.
Yeah.
So
I'm waiting for the new Xbox to come out. It's like the Xbox One X.
okay,
And then I'm hoping that the other one, the Xbox S, will drop in price
Yeah.
because you can run Forza 7 on it. So
yep. But you can run Forza 7 on the current Xbox. Yeah,
yeah, well that's what you have, isn't it? The X or the S?
I have whatever the normal Xbox One is.
Yeah, so that's what I'm waiting on that to drop down in price, which probably in the next month or so, right before the holidays they usually do.
Yeah, usually.
And then I'll pick up Forza 7, and we'll have to figure out how to do some online gaming. That should be fun.
Yeah, 100%. It's not that difficult.
Nope.
They're designed for it now.
Just like a time.
Yeah,
but,
well,
yeah.
we're both in our own
But
houses.
as far as racing games, that's definitely I'm definitely on board with the Forza train now. Although I saw a couple screenshots in the Gran Turismo, it does look really pretty.
It looks really pretty, don't question.
I'm just not that into it. I don't think I'll buy another PlayStation.
I don't think, well, we used to have both, but
Well,
at this point in my life, I don't want to spend that much money on video
and
games.
the other thing too is that they do other things. So like mine has been a Netflix machine forever. My PlayStation 3. I'm not even on the 4. I'm still on the 3. And they don't seem to go out of style so quickly, so to speak.
No, they last for a long time now.
You can get like 2 generations out of a machine now. 'Cause it used to be like, oh, new generation of video game consoles is out.
Throw the old in the trash, buy a new one.
Yeah, exactly. But now they seem to last a little longer. So
Well, it's because they're so good now, and I think that the gains in graphics are more. Hey, the gains in graphics are more are lower now than exponential like they used to be.
yeah.
So I think we need to take a quick break so I can take Ollie out because I think he's ready.
Okay.
And we're back from the quick break. On to the next question, which is from Brian Driggs, who asked us a lot of questions on this particular week. We're not going to get to all of them because one of them is pretty in-depth. And actually, I think we're going to save it for a topic in the future. So thank you, Brian, for that. We'll make a whole topic out of one of your questions. However, it won't be this question. This question is
Are you sure?
a positive. We're not going to make a whole topic out of this, no. But I have a good answer, so...
All right.
Which would be faster around Nürburgring? A Slayer fan or a Juggalo? And what would they be driving? Andrew, what do you think?
Man, I guess a Slayer fan, right?
100%.
Because, like, I don't know. Do Juggalo fans understand how science works? Like, are they going to know how, like,
Well, they don't know how magnets work.
tires
so,
can, like, stick to the ground?
As
Like,
you all know, Juggalos don't know how magnets work.
coefficient of friction, like...
I'm not even going to go that far with it, but I've never seen a Juggalo that didn't drive a 96 Corsica.
Okay.
So I don't understand how they could be fast on the track. Also, I am a big-time Slayer fan.
All right.
So I'm not sure if Brian is making fun of me there or not. But I am a big-time Slayer fan, and I like to think that there's not a Juggalo in the world that could beat me on any kind of racetrack. And if we have any Juggalo fans, I sincerely apologize. I don't understand your culture.
No, I don't.
And
I don't
I'm going
apologize.
to make fun of it because I don't know it. You don't apologize?
Nope.
I'm apologizing to any of our fans.
Your taste in music is terrible. So there.
And you don't like science.
Nope.
You don't know what science is.
Nope. Go drink some, was it Faygo?
Faygo. Yeah.
Faygo?
Yeah, that's another reason they wouldn't be fast. They wouldn't want to spill their Faygo going around the bowl turns.
Yeah.
So, no, it would definitely be a Slayer fan. Because Slayer fans, A, the music is fast. B...
Yes. Yeah. We just want some speed metal.
Right. B, there's a lot of Slayer fans in the world that probably race cars. C, Slayer is awesome. And D, they don't drive 96 Corsicas.
So, what would the Slayer fan drive?
An 89 Trans Am, obviously.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Turbo Trans Am?
It could be a Turbo Trans Am. It's going to be some kind of Trans Am. Or Camaro. Insert Camaro here as well. Or, actually, I'd also go with, like, some big German sedan. I could see a Slayer fan driving a big German sedan.
I feel like Slayer is probably really big in Germany.
Metal is big in Germany. It's also big they're also really big in, like, Brazil. So maybe they drive old Volkswagens. I don't know. But nonetheless, listen, I'm a Slayer fan, and I'm currently driving a 78 Colt. So that's what I'd be driving, and I would still kick the Juggalo's ass in his 1996 Chevy Corsica.
Nürburgring.
Or Grand Am.
21 minutes.
Doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as it's faster
Ring
than the
times
Corsica.
don't matter, man.
It's all about the numbers. It's all about the numbers. Next question he has. Remember the Chevy Citation and Ford Tempo? Man, were those things turds or what? Maybe there's an interesting sidebar on interesting oddball features you've seen, like vertical radios installed in the Citation, or how the needles on old horizontal speedometers, like in the Citation, would just go to shit and just wave at you when you drove, giving zero indication of actual speed. I do remember, obviously, the Chevy Citation and the Ford Tempo. Chevy Citation was supposed to be the world car that saved GM in the early 80s.
Yeah.
It did not.
No. It was supposed to be their K car.
Yep. I would totally drive an X11 Citation.
Okay. Yeah, those are kind of cool.
They're kind of cool. They have a cool stripe package. They have bigger sway bars, and they have tighter springs.
Not as cool as a Cosworth Vega, but...
Not as cool as a Cosworth Vega, because they're front-wheel drive, which doesn't help. And they're Citations, which doesn't help.
Definitely nerdy. Yeah, your car is a Citation. Like,
Yeah.
so...
It's a horrible name for a car.
Isn't a Citation like a negative thing?
Yeah, it's a ticket. You get a citation.
Well, I suppose you could get a citation would be like an award or acknowledgement, maybe.
Acknowledgement, maybe.
But
Or here's your car. It's an acknowledgement that you bought a car.
yeah, at least in America, a citation is like a bad thing. You don't want to get a
it's speeding
citation.
ticket. I bet that in the 80s when the car came out, there were many police officers who would walk up to the car and be like, "Sir, here's your citation for driving your citation too fast."
All
Not
right,
that it happened too often because it was a citation and they didn't go very fast.
but the speed limit was only 55. So
This is true. They probably had 85 miles speedometers in every single one of them.
yeah,
Sidebar.
which apparently broke.
Sidebar, the technology teacher at Salem High School had a four-door hatchback Citation well into the 90s,
Yeah,
and it was very rotted and very terrible. But I remember it because it was a Chevy Citation. The Ford Tempo was way more bland. But
what generation Tempo are we talking?
it's only two.
I'm thinking of the. I only remember the second gen ones then, or was that what? My mom had a Mercury Topaz, which is a version of the Tempo, right?
Same car.
What was that? A first or a second gen one?
I think your mom's would have been a first gen, the big square headlights, and the second gen had like sable style narrower headlights.
Okay, yeah, and it was like this weird battleship gray with a blue vinyl
It
interior.
wasn't a terrible color combination, but it was
No.
a terrible car.
No.
However, if you wanted an all-wheel drive,
I know she got it for free, and she drove it for a while,
Oh,
so
there
it was
you go.
pretty cool.
It's a good car. If you wanted an all-wheel drive American sedan,
Yeah.
that was your only option.
What about an AMC Eagle?
That was they were well gone by that point.
Really?
We're talking late 80s, early 90s. AMC was long dead, and the only American.
When did the Citation come out?
The Citation came out in 82.
Okay, so that would have been, an AMC Eagle would have been around then.
But that wasn't an all-wheel drive car.
okay.
The Tempo was all-wheel drive. The Tempo didn't come out until I think 86
Yeah.
or 85. but the all-wheel drive would have been 88, 89, 90, 91. I shouldn't know these things. I might not be exact on the date, but I have a general idea.
Yeah, I was supposed to have a talk with you about your lack of obscure car knowledge.
Yes.
Car knowledge.
Yeah, and, I called a carry-all a Suburban or a Suburban carry-all instead of a travel-all.
Yeah, I'm not sure about your level of commitment to this. So,
well, what I do know about the all-wheel drive Ford Tempos is they didn't make very many of them, and as early as the late 90s, if the center bearing went on the drive shaft, you could not replace it. So I'm sure there's a workaround for it for the ones that happen to still be left. The 6 of them in the world, but they were obsolete very quickly, unfortunately.
Huh.
You couldn't get a manual with a all-wheel drive either. So
that's a typical thing.
Yeah, well, it is now. Back then, it wasn't.
Weird.
It wasn't really it was really the only.
Those are weird cars.
Option other than Audi.
I didn't even know any of those things. So
I shouldn't know any of those things.
Yeah,
well, I really shouldn't. Actually, we recently saw our Tempo. Remember, we saw it in Boston on the way back from Rhode Island.
Didn't have Mercury Topaz taillights though.
It was a Tempo with it was a Topaz with a Tempo nose, and it had like a mid-90s Eclipse spoiler on the trunk.
Yeah,
it was pretty terrible.
If your Tempo or Topaz gets damaged and you're looking for junkyard parts, you're probably like, all right, there's a Topaz or Tempo, like a
first available.
Yeah,
it's like a seat at a busy restaurant.
Yeah,
just give me the first available.
Mercury Topaz, so weird.
The next thing we're going to skip over, which we might go into deeper in a topic in the future. And his last question is your favorite Top Gear episode and why? From British Top Gear, not American Top Gear, he says.
Well, whatever.
I mean,
I liked American Top Gear.
I didn't hate it. I didn't like it as much as original British Top Gear.
Well, unpopular opinion, I liked it. Because I like the hosts, so.
Yeah, I like most of them except for the comedian from New York.
Yeah, I liked him too.
Ugh. Anyway. I don't really know what my favorite episode of Top Gear is. There were a lot of good ones.
Oh, come on. Nothing? Like, nothing, like, immediately stands out?
The boat one where they made the cars into boats was good.
Went across the channel?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. So the one where they destroyed the Hilux was a good one.
Yep.
I don't know. There's too many segments in each episode. There's a lot of good segments versus whole out.
I liked the singular adventure ones.
I think they go across Africa.
So the Africa one is my favorite, where they had the
Mercedes. Miata?
No. What did Jeremy had some American car? Italian car. Alpha.
I don't even remember.
I think James May had a Mercedes. I don't know
the big diesel Mercedes.
And
they both shortened to Merc, so yeah, I get you.
And then what's his face? Richard Hammond had the. He called it Oliver. Actually, what was that?
Oh, that was really cool. Little Opel.
Yeah,
it was an Opel Record, maybe.
Yeah.
I said it. Now I'm gonna get screwed because I'm probably wrong. My obscure car knowledge is gone.
Oh no.
But yeah, he had a little Opel that was awesome.
Yeah. So
Oliver.
Yeah. So he actually ended up restoring that car.
Yeah, he kept that car in the end.
But this was the first time I really realized how beautifully filmed that show was. And I think that's I think that is the
Cadet.
Opel Cadet.
Opel Cadet.
That is their quintessential best episode. I think
it's a good one.
It hit all of the magic that made Top Gear really good. It had their funny chemistry. It had this amazing adventure. It didn't seem. I mean, they did write scripts for the show. Some of their stuff was scripted, but it didn't seem overly scripted or forced.
No,
like it really worked
because they work well together. When they work well together.
Yeah,
I could say that was definitely one of the best episodes, and I'm absolutely in love with that Opel from that episode. So.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. But the best car to go across the desert in is the Volkswagen Beetle, because it made through it all of those things.
Right, that was the car that followed them, right? The booby prize car.
If one of their cars failed, they had to drive the Volkswagen Beetle, and that was the only car that made it the entire way
without issue.
So. That is my favorite episode.
Okay, I can go with that as a whole episode.
Yep.
There's a lot of little segments I like, but that was definitely the best.
Mm-hmm. Read the next one?
Sure. Kenneth Mitchell has a few random questions. So we'll start individually here. What steps do you take to winterize your cars?
Well, make sure they have the correct ratio of coolant to water.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important around here.
And you can buy the tester for that for like $4. It's
Yep.
not expensive, so it's definitely worthwhile picking one up. It's just a bunch of balls that float in a fluid, in the
In the
antifreeze.
coolant?
Yes, which tests the level of glycol. I think ethylene glycol. I don't know how it works, but it's the buoyancy of the balls are in ratio to the thickness of the fluid. So whatever, it's really easy to test. The tester is very cheap. I don't know the science behind it. I just know how to use it.
You clearly do not.
No. I tried, but I don't know.
I mean, when in doubt, you can always just drain it out, and a 50-50 mix of water and coolant, you'll be fine.
Another important thing in New England is salt protection.
Yep.
We have started using New Hampshire oil undercoat, which is kind of like a thicker fluid film. And it's a thicker, longer lasting fluid film, and it comes in a clear or a black.
Yep.
We recommend the clear if you're going to work on your car a lot, because the black is messy.
And if the car's new.
Yeah. Because if it's old and rusty, you can put the black on there so it hides the rust.
Yeah, well,
Reseal coating.
it doesn't really it does kind of hide it, but
It makes it look pretty again.
yeah.
It really does. But yeah, no, the clear coating is really nice. They say every other year you should reapply it. I think we're going to try to apply it every year just because we're super extra anal about it, and it's $100. And I'd rather spend $100 every year than ever spend thousands on rust repair.
Yeah.
And especially when you go to work on your car in the springtime and the bolts come out because they're not seized together is pretty nice too.
Yeah, and then throughout the whole summer, apparently this stuff, as it warms up, it will kind of creep into other places.
Yep.
So
Yeah, so put it on before it gets super cold out as
yeah.
well. As far as anything else, make sure you have emergency supplies in the trunk for the cold in case something bad happens. Sound like an old father here, but it is what it is.
Winter tires.
Winter tires, snow tires, 100% on all four corners. A shovel in the trunk, a blanket in the trunk, gloves in the trunk.
Ice scraper.
Ice scraper, obviously.
Super annoying when you don't have one.
You're not gonna, yeah. And the thing is, another funny thing about technology is I used to always have an ice scraper, because if I didn't have an ice scraper, I'd have a jewel case from a CD, and I could use that in the pinch.
That worked?
All the time.
Without shattering in the cold?
All the time. So,
Okay.
but now cars don't have CD players anymore.
So what was your go-to album to scrape ice?
Whatever one had an already broken case. That was
Okay.
within arm's reach.
Okay.
I think the album that was in every car that I ever had a CD player in was probably Corrosion of Conformity's Blind.
Ironic that you'd use it to scrape ice from your windshield.
Why?
So you weren't blind.
Oh, very, very true. That was a bad joke, Andrew.
I'll be here all week.
Those are the major things. As far as the New Hampshire oil undercoat goes, we use a little shop in Merrimack, Mass. Has been taking care of us pretty well the past couple of years. It's called Auto Alliance. I don't have their phone number here. I should put a link of it up on our page eventually.
Sure.
Again, not a paid sponsor or anything, just a product that we use and endorse. He does really nice work, and he takes extra care. Like you had black done on your Montero, and he did the entire undercarriage in the black, and then he went with clear under the hood, so it looked better under the hood. Mm-hmm. And it looked very professional. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, everything sticks to it, so it turns yellow, but again, I'd rather have it yellow and not rusty than rusty and gross.
Yeah, but if you want to clean it off, it's just some simple green and a hose.
Yep.
You're fine. That's the other thing, it was non-toxic, so...
Yeah, no, it's all just petroleum. It's not, if an animal licks it, they're not going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
If you didn't keep things analog, this is Ken's next question. If you didn't keep things analog, what shiny modern computer on wheels would you daily?
You go first.
I don't have an answer. I don't know.
You don't have an answer?
I mean, I have my truck. It would have to be utilitarian, I think.
See, I classify your truck as still very analog.
Yeah, it's a 2005.
Yeah, it's still very analog. I mean, technically, any vehicle that you have to drive yourself is analog because the driver has to interact with it.
Wow,
that's my technicality.
That is a really broad stroke of that statement anymore.
It is very much.
I don't like it anymore. I would drive a new BRZ.
I don't mean that the car can't have any electronics in it. When I say keep it analog, I mean drive it yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a BRZ. Very analog still as a sports car. Stephanie's Crosstrek is pretty analog because it's manual transmission.
Yep.
the thing that would be like super modern that I'd be interested to try is a Tesla. I mean, anything that's got
that's true.
Self-driving capabilities, early self-driving capabilities, would be not very analog. That's
very not analog.
Yeah.
I don't like your definition of not analog, but I'll let it slide.
But it's the truth, though.
I do want to drive a Tesla, but I want to drive like a P100D with the ludicrous mode. Like, I really want to try that.
Yeah, I definitely want to try one.
I was watching a video, a terrible like street racing video on YouTube the other day.
Yeah.
Of a guy who it's a bone stock P100D.
What else do you do to them?
With a stripped out interior.
Oh.
And like 2 Kirky race seats and harnesses.
Okay.
And he just goes out and he goes to the local street races and just wipes the floor with everybody.
And then sneaks away because he's in a Tesla.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't make any noise. Yeah. But, I mean, I think a lot of stuff's going to go electric. I mean, definitely.
Well, again,
and I think there'll be well, that's going to change.
I know.
That batteries are getting better and better all the time. What I would like to really try is a new NSX. Because apparently... from what I've heard from people who have driven it, compared to like a GTR that does a lot of stuff for you, corrects a lot of your mistakes, the NSX will do that, but it still manages to feel like a sports car. Like it gives you a feeling of control, but it will correct your mistakes.
Okay.
So
your Evo kind of did that too, didn't it? With like the super all-wheel control,
yeah,
yaw control,
a little bit, but not as much. You could turn it off.
I know that I liked, going back to those cars, I liked my Evo a little more than yours because mine felt more analog to me. Because it was a lot more raw because I had an 8, you had a 10.
Yeah.
And 10, well, it's a nice car. I'm not discrediting that. I think the 8 was a lot more raw of a car, a lot more quote-unquote analog.
Yeah. The 10 was definitely a nicer car to drive, to be in for a long period of time.
I drive old Colts, so...
Yeah.
The 03, the Evo 8 was Cadillac compared to my cars anyway.
I'd like to try a new NSX.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven electric cars. I drove an e-Golf.
Oh, really?
Yep. I've driven... what's the Chevy?
The Volt?
The Volt, not the Bolt, which is a hybrid, but not a hybrid. Because the engine doesn't
drive. It's not a hybrid. It's an electric with a range extending engine.
Right. The engine
does not
generates
drive
electricity.
Doesn't drive the wheels.
Drive the wheels, exactly.
I would be interested if they're going to get better and better and better. Now I've got a 70-mile-a-day commute, which would be basically at the range of a current electric car.
A Tesla would do that.
A Tesla would.
Yeah.
A Tesla's also over $100,000.
I'm just saying a Tesla would do that.
Yes.
But I think like the e-Golf's like 150 miles.
I think that's on a good day. If you
that's like straight flat road, no stops, no hills.
From what I've heard, most people, what's good out of an electric car is 70 to 80 miles with normal driving. So with driving the way you would drive an electric car, driving the way you drive a gas car.
Yeah, you would need to have a charging station at work in order to make it work.
Yeah. So, and a lot of places are doing that, but I would totally drive an electric car every day.
As long as you still have your gas car on the side for a
weekend.
And whatnot.
I would totally, if we can make a gas car, if we can make an electric car fun to drive and still have good range, like 100 miles, I'd totally drive one all week long and then have my gas cars for the weekend.
Right.
100%.
I'm okay with that.
I don't need a gas car to get to work.
My only problem with that is
there's less maintenance.
The more we make electric cars the norm, the less demand is going to be for gasoline, the higher the price is going to go for enthusiast use.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
I wish that they would figure out a synthetic gasoline solution that would burn cleaner.
Okay.
I mean, hey, I might be thinking... large here, but they make synthetic oil.
It's still made out of hydrocarbons, though. The term synthetic is not like made out of thin air oil.
Well, no, I understand that, but I listen.
If you see, that's the thing. Some people think that they could just make synthetic fuel, and it's not like it's being made out of thin air.
Well, it's being made out of something.
Yeah.
But if they could make a fuel, if they could produce a fuel that burned in a gasoline engine that burned cleaner. Maybe synthetic is the wrong word, but there's got to be something. And someday, I think they will have that.
Maybe. It's gonna go the way within 10 to 15 years. There will be more and more electric cars, and it's gonna end up where gas cars are. It's like owning a horse or like a boat or something. It's just
I don't
something
think we'll see that extreme in 10 or 15
I think you
years.
will.
Not in 10 or 15 years.
Nope. Calling it right now on this podcast recorded in 10 to 15 years, it will be like that.
All right. Well, I'm going to call you.
50% of all cars in 10 to 15 years will be electric on the road.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
100%.
Full electric or electric
50%
hybrid?
full electric.
No.
50%.
Not a chance.
Half of all cars will be electric.
Not a chance. Not a chance. You're not going to get Joe Blow from Idaho to buy an electric car in 10 years.
Doesn't matter. The middle of the country doesn't matter. The coasts are what matters.
It does matter. We have listeners in the middle of the country, man. Don't just blow it up.
No, as far as car sales, it doesn't matter as much as the coasts. It will trickle in there, but you'll see it. Half of all cars will be electric.
All right. I respectfully disagree again on this podcast. This has been a very divisive podcast.
I'm telling you.
We're like current administration Congress right now, just fighting about everything.
No, I'm telling you.
Anyway, his last question is, outside of what you're already involved in, what car culture are you most curious about? Examples given: Bosozoku in Japan, donks in the South, lowriders in California, etc. Personally, I'm pretty immersed in most car culture, whether I participate in it or not.
Mm-hmm. So you're not immersed. You're versed.
Versed, yes. Not immersed because I read about it and look into it and I'm interested in it. That's
okay.
That's
immersion.
That's immersion.
All right, I'll give you that.
But I don't participate in it. Like, I don't have a Bosozoku car. I certainly don't have a donk, and I would never have a donk. That's just not my style.
Nope.
I get why somebody likes it because it's their thing, and there's no accounting for personal taste. Same reason that people are juggalos driving around Nürburgring.
Yeah.
In their donked out 96 Corsicas. I don't understand that. I don't fully understand Bosozoku to the extreme level. The minor Bosozoku cars are kind of cool, but the extreme ones I don't get. I would definitely be into lowriders, and my future at some point, not a modern style lowrider, but a traditional lowrider from before the hydraulic days, when they were just a set of like deep dish Astro Supreme 5-spokes and a set of Bellflower pipes out the quarter panels. I could totally rock. I would totally rock one of those. And in fact, I kind of have this dream build in my head of a 75 Colt wagon on the ground on deep dish 4-spoke Krager SS's in that lowrider style. I don't know, call me crazy, but I kind of like that. Because it's a wagon. It's not going to be a sports car. You got to make it into something like a cruiser that you just haul stuff with on family trips and whatnot.
All right. No, I'd be into lowriders.
Yeah, lowriders are cool. They're very visual, obviously, but they're still drivable. I mean, obviously, just like in anything, some people take it to an extreme beyond what I get interested in. Like, they have the show cars that are on top of mirrors with cotton clouds around them, which is not my style. Or the airbrush murals in the hoods and stuff I'm not into, but some of the crazier paint jobs, the lace paint jobs, or the endless line paint jobs are really cool. So some of the traditional 60s, early 70s style lowrider stuff is pretty awesome.
I really like drifting.
Okay. I get it. I've never done it because
I've never done it either, but I've gone to a couple of events.
I still haven't been to an event.
And I'm like I said, you're like, drifting sounds dumb, and then you go watch it like, nah, it's pretty cool. I'd do that.
I mean, I drifted my car on the way here in Centennial Drive coming around the off-ramp.
Yeah, but when you're in a parking lot or on
it's raining out right now.
Yeah, I know, parking lot drifting, whatever. But if you're on a parking lot or a closed course and there's no, like, you can't get in trouble for it.
Right.
Other than damaging your car, to see somebody just link a bunch of corners together with, just like a bunch of smoke billowing from the back of the car.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is pretty cool looking.
I've seen videos of it, and it's cool.
And then when they start doing tandems, you're like, all right, I get it.
That's serious talent.
It's pretty 100%. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that dumb. It's pretty cool. Like, I get it. I'm down with it.
All right. Well, that concludes the Facebook question segment.
Yes.
Now we move on to the Instagram questions.
All right. The Gambler 500.
The official Gambler 500?
Yes.
Sweet. Hello, Gambler 500. We didn't know you listened.
No, very cool. You guys want to come rally with the Gambler 500?
I don't swear often on the podcast, but fuck yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
No, that's definitely in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, 100%. What was
Take
it
an
used-
old crappy car off road.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us.
Take an old crappy car long distance?
That's also us.
That's my life.
Yeah.
For a year, I commuted into Boston in a 1980 Dodge Colt.
Yep.
Right through wintertime.
Yep.
Totally fine. We're totally down.
You own a number of vehicles that we could just gamble right now.
So do you, mother.
No, because if we did it in the 89 Montero, it would just finish. There's no excitement there.
Yeah, we do it in that brown 80 Colt.
Yeah, you need to do it in something that's not meant to go off-road.
I don't have anything I want to beat off-road. We still have to buy something.
RX-7 convertible.
No, because it's worth too much money and I fix it. Which I need to fix it to sell it too, which is ridiculous. Anyway, regardless. Yeah, so we're totally down with the Gambler. Totally love the idea. We've even contemplated... We've actually discussed it. No. We've discussed doing a Gambler event. We just haven't done it yet.
There's one in New York.
Yeah, we've discussed it. And we may join you somewhere. But, yeah, keep talking to us about it. Keep reminding us to do it. And we'll wind up there somehow.
Yeah.
Fuzzy 4-pot.
Fizzy 4-pot.
Sorry, Fizzy 4-pot. Tokyo Motor Show favorites. Fastback Toyota Crown, yay or nay? Tokyo Motor Show favorites. The Honda's nice.
Yep.
Honda Sports, electric e-sports concept or something they called it.
The Crown looks a lot like an Audi. It looks like an Audi.
A7 with a Lexus grille.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unfortunate.
I originally read the question and thought it meant Century.
Okay.
Which apparently was only the third redesign of the Toyota Century.
Yeah, in like 40 years.
Yeah.
Which there was a Century at Japanese Car Day last
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
I think the Century looks really cool. Because it looks like a Century still.
Yeah, it's just a big box.
Like
the Crown looks like a ripoff of an Audi A7 fastback. I mean, I like it, but I don't love it. I'm kind of either here nor there on it. I'm sure cost-wise, it's probably very close to an A7, so I'd probably just buy the A7 at that point.
Yeah, so what was it called? The Honda Sports concept?
Honda Sports EV concept, I think it was.
All right, so there you go. Fun EV sports car.
And I think they're talking manual transmission, too?
It looked like it's styled like a futuristic S600 coupe.
Yep. I was reading, I'm not going to take credit for it because I saw it online, but somebody said that it looks kind of like a Toyota 2000 GT.
Well, just because it's got a round opening grille with two headlights in it.
But the basic shape...
The basic shape is an N600. Is that what it is?
the basic shape looks like a 2000 GT.
No,
when you squint.
When you see... Okay, so a long hood coupe car.
A long hood fastback.
Okay. S600 coupe looks just like that.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's small. It's definitely S600 coupe.
Yes, it is. I like it. It's got to be rear-wheel drive and electric, and I'm totally down with it. I would, if I was going to drive an electric car looked like that.
Well, you're going to have to in 10 to 15 years.
I'm not going to have to in 10 or 15 years. You're so wrong. It's not even funny. That car is really cool and probably one of the most exciting things there. The Mitsubishi E-Evolution we already talked about. They revealed the whole vehicle there. It looks just as ugly as the concept renderings led you to believe it was going to look. Again, I don't hate it because that's what it is. The Mazda Kai. That's the...
Which one's that?
It's the hatchback four-door. It's probably going to be the Mazda 3, future Mazda 3 replacement.
Okay.
Obviously, it won't be quite as low and wide because it's a concept car. But the styling language is nice.
Yep.
And hopefully Mazda goes to that styling language for their whole line. But my personal favorite was the Yamaha.
Which one's the Yamaha?
It's a little trucklet kind of off-road, on-road thing. They call it the Cross Hub.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sure why Yamaha keeps making concept cars because they're a motorcycle company.
And instruments. I don't know.
I don't know, but it's a 1-liter gas engine electric hybrid combo. It looks kind of like it's like a little adventure vehicle, I guess. It's almost like a new version of a Suzuki X90. You know, kind of a tiny little personal off-roader. I thought it was kind of cool. And I'll admit that I do like the X90, which is not a popular opinion.
Yeah.
Trying to open a beer here, and I can't get the tap open. There we go. Yeah, so I like that one. Did you see that one, the Cross Hub?
Cross Hub. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. But let's see. So that kind of, there's a related question that I'm going to skip
hold on.
to.
The Subaru Visiv was cool, too. It looks like a lowered Crosstrek.
Okay.
That's really cool.
They're
They're all the link I sent you to the Motor Trend. The Motor Trend link, if you scroll down.
There's a weird Suzuki concept.
Yeah, which is Suzuki, so we'll never see it. I don't see any of these because they're concepts.
Well, that kind of, there's a related question that I'll skip to. This is from Mr. Gallant Guy. He says, since domestic...
Mr. Gallant Guy?
Yes. Since he has a Gallant VR4 and a 2.5 gen Montero.
Where's that question? Oh, there it is. Mr.
He's, yeah.
I see it. I know.
He's just like me, but in Florida.
Yes.
Since domestic automakers have gone the nostalgic design on their iconic cars, should the Japanese automakers do the same? And there are several concepts that are kind of nostalgic throwbacks.
Several cars are in the market.
Yeah.
I mean, the 350, 370Z has all kinds of little harken back clues.
Mm-hmm.
It has that, the little notch in the C-pillar.
Yep.
It has the similar shape. It has a lot of stuff that is evocative of the earlier cars.
I like a 350Z better, even though the
It's a cleaner design.
Even though the 370 looks like a trimmer car.
Yeah. Oh, the 350 is a cleaner design, no question.
Which is an odd thing to say from a... Nissan was really weird in the mid-2000s.
But that car wasn't. I think the 350Z was a pretty normal-looking car. Compared to the rest of their lineup, it was.
They mid-2000s Nissans are kind of weird looking.
Time has been better to the 350Z than it has been to a mid-2000s Altima or Maxima.
Definitely, I think the facelifted Z, the later ones, are pretty good looking. That is a car that I cannot wait till they're really cheap.
They already are. You can buy them for like $3,000.
Cheaper.
They're not going to get much cheaper than that.
Those are going to be really sweet soon.
Actually, I should buy one of those as a daily driver, actually.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
It's a pretty good car.
A lot more reliable than a Mercer XR4Ti.
Yeah, it's actually... they are a really good car. There's certain issues that you've got to watch out for, but for the most part, those are really good cars.
Yeah, but there's a few retro-styled Japanese cars, I think. And in the 90s...
we're not talking about the 90s. What's out now?
No, but we're talking about the future direction of nostalgic designs, and automakers have gone nostalgic, but so have Japanese cars have a history of it. You know, it's not a new thing for any of them. They had the, what do they call those little Nissans, the POW and the
yeah, all right.
Those were nostalgic designs, and I don't know. I think every so often, every car manufacturer comes out with something that they say is a throwback to something.
Yeah.
Whether it's a whole car or a piece of the car. But that electric Honda, the past two Honda concepts, one of them looks like an N600, little hatchback one, that first electric one that they showed like a month ago. And then the sports EV concept now is certainly a retro-styled one. The Toyota Century we're talking about, it looks like a Toyota Century. It's kind of just an evolution of the original design, but you can still tell within a second that it's a Toyota Century.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is about, even though everybody wants new things, you don't want them to look too new, I guess.
Yeah, like a Toyota Mirai.
Yeah.
Or is it Mirai how you say it?
Yeah. Or
a new Prius or a new Camry. Even a new Camry is heinously ugly.
Like, for some reason, even the newest car needs to have some semblance of familiarity.
Needs to be recognizable.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if you take somebody from 1920 in a Model T and you show them an Audi A7, they would just be like, what is this pancake of metal in front of me?
Well, what in the Ford lineup, yeah. I mean, that's an extreme example.
Well, I'm just saying you need to have stepping stones in between. You need to be gradually changed.
You could, somebody that went into a coma in 1968, you could show them a Mustang now, and they would understand that it's a Mustang.
Because it's a full retro design.
Yeah.
And like going back to Nissan toyed with the idea when they had that concept I fit
The
concept.
it was a 510
510 concept. It was a
Yeah.
small little 3-box rear-wheel drive coupe, which they didn't make because they're jerks. And I would have bought one in a second.
Yeah.
Money where my mouth is, I definitely would have bought that car.
All right.
But anyway, so yeah, I sure, yes. The answer then is yes. They should definitely do the same. I would love to have a retro-styled rear-wheel drive sports car from Mitsubishi.
FJ
called the
Cruiser.
Starion. Oh yeah, that's a good one right there.
I always wanted them to release a rear-wheel drive coupe to compete with the FRS and BRZ.
Yeah.
And
Call it an Eclipse,
for like the
Starion.
first year, call it an Eclipse Starion.
Yeah, perfect. You know, Toyota used to do a Celica Supra.
Yeah,
So it
exactly.
makes perfect sense. Or maybe do the Eclipse naturally aspirated.
Not the Eclipse
and
Cross.
A turbo version called the Eclipse Starion.
The Eclipse Starion.
Yeah. I'm down with that idea.
Yeah.
You should run Mitsubishi.
I should.
However, I do have this like in the back of my head hope now that Nissan's in control, that they kind of get their own version of the 370Z and call it the Starion.
I don't care if it's shared on the same platform. That's fine with me.
Yeah, I just want a new Mitsubishi sports car.
Yeah. Because
That's not front wheel drive.
VQ engines are great engines. So
Yeah, but even if they took the VQ out of it and they put a 4B in it,
whatever.
also fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Anyway, so we skipped around. What's next?
So we're after Osaka Flocka.
Who we met at the car show last week.
Yes. Could you ever own just one car? I know I couldn't. And if you had to choose one car to do it all, what would it be?
In my entire licensed driving life, I've never had one car.
Really? You've always had at least two?
Always had at least two.
I've definitely had
which
one
is
car.
Totally an asshole thing for me to have just said. I realized after I said it. I'm not trying to like humble brag here.
To be fair, the collective total value.
No, the Camaro's always worth a ton of money.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So the problem is that when I was 8 years old, my father bought a car for me because it wasn't very expensive, and he wanted me to have a cool old car. So he bought me my 1968 Camaro SS 350 convertible. And that was in like 1988 when the car wasn't worth anything.
They
It
weren't
was
worth
just
shit.
20-year-old Camaro.
They were a shitty old Camaro.
And he put it away in storage until I was old enough to drive it. So I always had that car since I was 8 years old. I got my first daily driver when I was like 12. Obviously, I didn't drive it, but I got the car when I was like 12 from a neighbor of ours who thought he blew it up. That was my Cutlass. So
Yeah.
when I got my license, I had a Cutlass and a Camaro.
Okay.
And then shortly thereafter, I had a Cutlass and a Camaro and a Caballero.
Yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, I had a Cutlass, a Camaro, Caballero, and a Talon.
All right.
So I never had one
Okay.
car, so I don't know that.
All
one.
right. So,
Hold on, one functioning car. I've had that problem.
all right. So if you somehow edited yourself to one vehicle to do it all,
Yep.
what would it be?
One vehicle to rule them all. It would be. Did it have to be available in this country?
No. Just, it's an exercise. It's clearly a thought exercise.
All right. So it would be a.
Because you'll never have one car.
A Holden. I forget the name of the vehicle. The Pontiac G8 based car pickup.
Oh, okay.
Because a car pickup, so it can haul anything.
Okay.
It's a V8 rear-wheel drive.
Call
6-speed.
everything but passengers.
I'll put like some Subaru Brat style jump seats in the back. It's totally cool. That's what I'd have. Because it can be a sports car, it can be a pickup truck, it can tow, it can do it all. I feel it's a pretty good
All right.
choice. That's why it's so popular down under, and they should be popular here.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Well, super boring answer. It would either be a WRX STI
Snore.
or an Evo.
Snore. No, actually, I'm okay with both of those answers. They're not
Because
really that boring.
those really do a lot of it.
My second choice would be the Evo. My only reason for not doing that is because it's too finicky of a car to do everything all the time with. Having owned an Evo, I know what maintenance on an Evo is.
Do an STI.
Okay. I don't know. I can't do a Subaru. Sorry. One day I'm going to buy a Subaru. I want to eat all my words, but I just, at the moment, for everything that Subaru makes is something I would buy first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. But sometimes they just make like a car that, kind of works. For
I don't
what it
know
is.
what it's like to have cars that work, so they're all broken, as we know.
Anyway.
Speaking of broken cars, Throttle by Cable says you have $5,000 to spend on one of your cars. And then in parentheses, he says, no new cars, Brad. So obviously he knows my answer would be buy more cars, and that is apparently the wrong answer.
Buy 5 more cars.
6 if I do it right. So you have $5,000 spent on one of your cars. No new cars, Brad. Parts and or labor if someone else is to do it.
If you bought 5 more
How do
cars,
you wanna spend?
you'd be set for like 2 years. You could just drive one, break it,
You would
drive
think,
another one, break
you
it.
would think that, but probably not.
You'd probably get 2 to 3 months out of them. I think you'd get about 2 years out of 5 cars.
Your math does not check out. 2 months out of a car times 5 cars, so 10
all
months.
right. You could get 2 to 6 months out of a car.
Okay.
So you'd get some time out of it.
All right. Anyway, shut your face. Answer the question. Now, my thing is, I would just hot rod my 78 Colt
All right.
because
Fair
that's
enough.
already part of the plan. 4G63 naturally aspirated ITBs with a 5-speed transmission and a solid heavy rear axle out of like a Toyota pickup.
All right. That sounds cool.
Yep.
I would I'd finish my Talon.
Yeah, 100%. $5 grand go a long way in that car.
Yeah, because it's almost all there.
Yeah.
Definitely finish that.
So obviously, true to form, we'd have 2 4G63 cars.
Yep.
However, 1 longitudinal, naturally aspirated, lightweight rear-wheel drive, and 1 dumb horsepower, all-wheel drive, sideways mounted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. Yeti Overland. How do I keep myself sane while my truck is at Toyota for the next 1 to 3 months for a warranty frame replacement? They're still doing that?
Yeah.
This truck isn't even that old.
No, and apparently I was talking to him. It was already inspected once, and it passed. And then it started rusting, so they're going to replace it.
That's crazy town.
Yeah, well, I remember when I was over...
Maybe you should go get some New Hampshire oil undercoating on this new one.
Yeah, well, when I was at Audi, they were next door to Toyota, and there's always frames stacked outside, brand new ones.
Rusting outside?
Yeah, well, no, apparently the brand new ones they do some... But, like, it's like some ridiculous amount of hours. Like, you got to pull the whole body off,
That's
obviously.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
Every single bolt has to come off. I mean, not of each individual part, but like everything that's bolted to this frame has to come off.
No, it's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
It's so basically, it's like they're doing a frame off restoration on every one of these trucks.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
I can't. Oh my, yeah, all the money they're spending on these.
And obviously they have to do it because it's a customer service thing and it's a safety issue.
Why don't they just buy them back and crush them?
It must make more sense to fix them financially. They were doing that option for a while. I don't know if they still are or not.
Wow.
I know our friend Scott got his like beat up old truck that was probably worth like $4,000, and they gave him like 15 for it because it was. On the
I think
trade-in program.
I think the frame rot issue went on like a couple generations of these too.
It started in like 95.
Yeah,
And Yeti Overland trucks like, what was that, like 08?
I don't know.
I don't know the exact year. I know it's newer though. It's not like a 90s truck.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Man, I don't know what you get. I think I saw his rental car, like a Chevy pickup truck. Like, I don't know what to do, man. Like,
Go off-roading with it.
well, it's a rental. I don't.
Take the extra insurance and go off-roading with it. Again, these ideas are not endorsed by Auto Hot Topic Podcast. The opinions expressed here within are not good ideas. I don't know. I would, honestly, I would just keep trading out rental cars.
Yeah,
Just to keep it interesting. You know,
Yeah,
get a Camaro, get a Mustang, get a Challenger.
yeah. If you can do without a pickup truck, like
Yeah.
you don't need. If they only gave you a pickup truck because you had a pickup truck, but they'll let you rent like other different stuff.
Yeah, just run through the gamut. I mean, not that you're going to get anything super exciting because they're all rental cars. And they're all going to be automatics. But
Yeah.
you can get a V8 Mustang. You can get a V8 Challenger.
Yeah,
It'd be kind of cool to just beat around in for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's probably what I would try to do. I don't know. I can't think of any other way other than get another car-related hobby, like build model cars.
yeah.
Start your own automotive podcast.
Yeah.
Like, just do something else with cars. Come over and hang out and work on our cars with us. Like, just do something. I don't know.
All right. So the second and final question from Yeti Overland. Also, when does the Auto Off Topic Narragansett collaboration beer come out?
I feel we must have overtalked Narragansett in the past. It will never happen. They are way too big of a company. We'd more likely have a collaboration with our beer tonight, Bentwater, because the next door in Lynn. But there's no way saying we're having that. Just some local beer, probably. That would actually be kind of cool.
It would be kind of cool.
Like, we did hear about that our friend of the show, sent the link to the Montero beer,
Yes.
which is kind of interesting.
I've got people looking for it for us.
Yeah,
So-
I've heard that from a couple
Yeah,
friends of ours.
yeah.
It's a Texas brew,
Yeah.
and it's a picture of a Montero Sport
Yeah,
on the can of beer.
We have some people who are heavily involved in beer trading
Yes,
who are working on it. Top people working on it.
yes. Very, very, very important things happening here.
So I think we'll call that a podcast.
It is an excellent length episode.
Excellent length.
Excellent length.
Most best length.
Most best length. The very best, guys.
Best,
Nothing but the best.
Best motoring length podcast. So if you like the podcast, please go on Facebook, like our page, and then, of course, set to see updates first. That way you'll see posts like this, and you can ask us questions. Otherwise, you can like us on Facebook, on Instagram. That'd be Auto Off Topic. On Instagram, it's Auto Off Topic Podcast. On Facebook, you can follow me on Instagram, Race and Anger. Brad, where can people find you?
You can find me on my personal Instagram, TSISS350, on the business page for Vintage Imports of New England, which is Vintage Imports New England on Instagram.
Are you sure?
Nope, I'm not. Vintage Imports something. Just search it; it'll come up. What a horrible, horrible hype man I would be.
So, please rate and review us on iTunes, and of course, share with your friends. Thanks for listening.
I'm too old for social media, Andrew. That's all it is. I don't know what to do anymore.
Oh man, get you off there. Keep your cars analog.